All right, I'm going to check a little audio here, and we'll get started here in just a bit. I'm also trying to charge my phone. Oh, there it goes. One of those wireless chargers. So, got a power bank. We'll do Magic City on EM Monday. Hopefully everything looks good. Let me check some studio settings here. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit off. Gonna move it just a touch. Up. Okay, I think we're good. Hi, everybody. It's me, and I appreciate you joining and everything like that. This is EM Monday. I've got two EMs in the house, and they are Dealer's Choice in this one, Magic City. Let's see if I can get that more into frame. I know I should have been a little bit better at doing this, but we got all the lights going, and hopefully that glare right here isn't too bad. But picked this game up about a week and a half ago. No, about 2 weeks ago now. Maybe even 3. Holy cow. Didn't come with the large bell for the 100 points and the 10 points. Very burnt up coil. You want to see it? This guy was sitting in the back, nice and burnt up there, and actually still hooked up. Plunger is actually still kind of melted inside there, but was able to get the replacement from Marcos, the coil that is, and the large bell from Pinball Resource. Although I need to stand it off from the back of the box, and I don't know exactly how to do this. If you got any suggestions, I would love to know, but that's okay. The game comes alive when you turn on the thing. The other thing is I ordered the 455 blinking bulbs in here. I was thinking about putting LEDs in it. I've got all LEDs in my Dealer's Choice, and I think it looks amazing. This one, I'm not sure. Although the Facebook group, the EM Pinball Facebook group, had a pretty good comparison, side-by-side comparison of regular incandescents and the LEDs, the retro LEDs from Comet Pinball. They actually look pretty good. So I don't know, maybe the blinking bulbs. I don't know. I kind of like doing the old school blinking bulbs. Although it looks like one's not coming on. Well, maybe it is. Goal for tonight. I always like to try to set a goal. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to make any goals, but goal for tonight, spell Magic City. I always like to try to roll it. Oh, I should grab a dry erase marker. We were going to write down scores and stuff like that. I wonder if I've got the score on there. My wife might join us. We might have some other family members join us, but it's set for 5 balls. We got lots of time. That was a heck of a plunge. Goodness gracious. The other thing that I did on this game was I replaced the skirts on the pop bumpers. That is not easy to do when you don't have a rotisserie. Because I do not have a rotisserie. So I had to hold it up, and I had to stand it up, and I had to do it from one side and dive underneath and do it on the other side. Kind of did it just here in the basement, but I got it done. They look great. They're a little out of adjustment, so you might actually see them machine gun a little bit. You may actually see them not fire correctly either. That's typical Magic City right there. But I always try to skill shot that rollover at the top. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with Magic City. Oh, I didn't undo the... Why? Why must you do that to me? Let's see if we can get it to... These guys are behaving a little bit better than they were the other day. There you go. Nope. Oh, but now we're on the star. I like that. So I like to skill shot the rollover button there because it spots the letter that this top light that moves across the board with every hit against this. And every time that you hit this target that's right underneath the 10 or 100 middle pop bumper here, there's a target right there. It says 50 points, spots letters, and advances. And it turns on the red bumpers on. So as you do that, it'll advance it 1. But every time that you hit this pop bumper, it advances it. And you can only spot the star when it's on there. You can't get the star any other way. Every other letter has a rollover or a target that you can hit. So there's multiple ways to do that. But it's really skill shotting the rollover button that does the same thing as this target. It spots the letter, moves it 1, gives you 50 points, turns on the red bumpers. But if you get the star, it turns on the blue bumper, and that makes it 100 points per hit. And see, now everything lights up. Now I got the A, which I already had. There's a little shotgunning. Oh, nuts. Not much you can do about that one. But even though I already had the C rolling over that target, still beneficial because it turns on the red bumpers. Turning on the red bumpers just means that you're going to score more. Instead of 1 point, which is what they would be, but 16-18, that's the top score. That's cool enough. I'm going to see if I've got the scores here somewhere. We can remove this guy. Yep. And then, let's see, do I have... Let's add a text box, and let's add score. This is going to be gigantic when I first type it, so ignore that. 16-18. Holy, that's a giant score there. Let's make it like that. Can I make it smaller? Oh, sure I can. Okay. That's a good enough place for it. So 16-18, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. And like I say, rolling this game, I've hardly gotten past 2,000. And according to the scorecards, which actually I printed off new scorecards for it because there were some handwritten scores in here. But 2,000 points is the first replay. Well, that was anemic. Got 300 points out of it there. Little shotgun there, that's alright. Oh, these little flippers are something else, but still have a lot of fun with this game. I should have probably hit. Like I say, when I redid the skirts on the pop bumpers, they were busted. I don't know if I still have them, but they were busted and cracked and everything like that, and brown and dirty and icky and ugly. Now they're nice and gleaming white, but when I put them back, I think the post to the spoon was a little bit not necessarily the right length, and so I had to readjust the spoon, which of course then you have to readjust the other thing in the end of stroke switch. A little bit more than I wanted to. I don't think I ever want to do pop bumper skirts again. Nice generous pop right there. I do think it's interesting that there's like almost this orbit that happens here. It hits this bumper, and then it kind of comes up. So a lot of this game can be a lot of no flipping. So yeah, even though you've got the letter that it's ready to spot, it's almost a good idea to take it anyway, so that you can get the points for it and turn on the bumpers, because you're getting 10 times the points, really. Wow. That Y, it's the second time I think I've seen the Y not score. Uh-oh. Always seems like it's a constant adjustment or something that has to happen on, well, I guess pinball in general. I think we'll hopefully. Well, that should be good. Come on. I did tighten the tilt a little bit, so... and tilt voids game. You're going to be on ball number 1, and you can void the game entirely, so... Don't really want to do that, so we'll go with that, and that's 855. Nice. So yeah, okay, calm down. The two red pop bumpers actually do fire in unison, which I thought was kind of interesting, but I guess that's how it was designed. If I don't have that correct, by all means, you can tell me. Man. Sometimes you can just get it where if you give it the right nudge, it'll hit the pop bumper, which will then force back into it, and eventually force it around. So, okay, ball 4, jeez. Yeah. Do like that action. Not that action. Ugh. Come on, flipper games are skill games for fun and recreation. Not for gambling at all. Alright. 1326, we just keep on going. Oh, I saw a little glitching out there. That's interesting. Let's keep an eye on that. I always think that if you do the spotting the letter, and then you roll over the letter that is still available, I like to call that the 2-fert. Occasionally you can get the 3-fert if you can rainbow it enough. That didn't kiss it enough. But occasionally it'll... Okay. It can rainbow around. Oh, it did knock the Y, but it didn't turn off the light. That's interesting. Maybe I gotta shorten this light, but... So it did score the Y, but when it usually scores a letter, like this I, it will turn off that light. So I'll have to see if maybe that relay needs a little love. Probably. As long as it scores, I'm perfectly fine with slightly not working games, but as long as it scores and I can spell Magic City, then A-okay. Come on, get that C. Get the C. Oh, we got the star. The star also lights these specials over here. And it goes off each ball, so you can't let it go. No, that doesn't pop the bumpers, though. Roll it. Ah. Come on. Oh, we're going to get a new high score for today. Hopefully we can maybe breach the 2,000 mark. We're not there yet. There it is. Okay. I guess we were going to no matter what. Oh, there's the star lit. And now it's not lit. Oh, and I tilted. Oh, should I write down that score? Should I write it down? Oh, I don't know. I got disqualified. Just remember that in the back of your brain. 2084 was the tilted game. So, but thanks for joining me for EM Monday. If you new and you want to follow along, go ahead and hit the follow button. That would be awesome. I guess we're at 111 subscribers. I'm sorry, followers. And then we are, if you want to do that in binary, that's like 7 followers. Got just a couple of subscribers, which I'm doing this a lot for fun, so I have a great time just kind of sharing my games, especially during these uncertain times. That's that lower orbit I was talking about earlier. There you go. Come on. Almost got insert death there. Come on. One more for the star. Star's lit. Star's not lit. Oh, the Y is off. I'm going to have to check that light, because normally you hit it and it should go off. It is giving me the credit for the Y, so I'm alright with that. Got really quiet just then. Oh, and I didn't get credit for that second hit, because with the EMs, I think we know that the scoring motor runs, and then you have to wait for the scoring motor to stop scoring for multiple hits like that. Always something with these games. Oh, I got the star and it missed the special. Nuts. I should have calculated that one way better. Get the 1. Or the I, sorry. Alright, so we're still on the I. The city I. I like it to get over to that M. Pop bumpers are not usually powerful enough to get it to go right back up the... Oh, nuts. Pop bumpers don't tend to get it right back up the lanes. It happens on occasion, but not enough to make it worthwhile. There you go. That's the twofer. Oh, that's all you get. But that's okay. That was kind of nice. It did the Y and the M there. Now it's ready for the A. Let's see if we can get another twofer. Possibly. Oh, no. Brutal. Brutal game. I'm pretty sure that the average game per minute is probably very, very high on that. City I, got the city T. Ah, should have flipped early. Just a split second earlier. But yeah, all these 10 points or 100 points that were ringing, like that one, silence before I replaced the bell. So I'm actually really happy that the bell is now working order, and it makes it sound a whole lot better. Lower orbit. Oh, that. Okay. Get a little extra juice from that thing. It's interesting because it didn't count it going here. So again, I probably have to look at that scoop or the spoon and just make sure that, because if it hits it from the front, it's gonna have to hit this side of the thing. But I guess I've got the switch is kind of too close, because that's why we get the machine gun effect. But other than that, I'm still having a lot of fun with it. There's just a little bit of flaking on the back glass. I should replace those lights. I'm not opposed to LEDs in the EM because, especially the retro lights that Comet has. Take the special. Glad to hear the knocker. The retro bulbs, another great streaming team that I've been part of sometimes on occasion is Colorado Pinball. If you haven't followed them, they have really great, but they've got really modern games, and they do some trades and everything. They recently traded their Walking Dead for Iron Man from Blizzard Mountain Pinball. And when they got Iron Man, they contacted Comet Pinball, because we're all kind of a happy Colorado family here. And they said, hey, do you make a lighting kit for Iron Man? And Comet Pinball said originally no, but then they made one, and they sent it out to Colorado Pinball, and they streamed it on Friday, replacing all the lights in their Iron Man. And I think it's the Iron Man Pro. Really gorgeous game. But what they were saying was the two surface-mounted diodes, LEDs, are like the standard LEDs that you can get from Comet Pinball. And the cool white is like 2.5 times brighter than a regular incandescent bulb. And then the sunshine light is a step between soft white. So like soft white is 2 times, cool white is 2.5 times, sunlight is somewhere in between. But then they have these retro bulbs that are about the same as incandescents. And so I know lots of people with their EMs will say, well, no, I like to have the nostalgic value of it. I get it. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's your game. You do whatever you want. But if you want to do a little cost-saving measure on your games, there was another great... I was kind of poking around the YouTube, and there's this guy, this kid actually. He is probably a grown man, probably graduated from high school, maybe even college by now, because I think the video came out in maybe 2010-ish, 2011. But he did the Bride of Pinbot, the machine Bride of Pinbot, and they did all LEDs, and this is back, early days of that. And he was saying that it's like a 40% savings on power, and with that comes the heat. So, again, it's your game. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, but I mean, these incandescents have that kind of yellowy look to them, and with the wood and everything like that, it's got that also yellowy look, I guess. I will say I already put LEDs in this game. They're just here in the coin door, and you can't see them. Just the 3 lights for the coin door. It's very nice and bright, too. So I guess I did that already. That's because those lights weren't working at all. So I was like, of course, I'm just... It sounded like something fell out of the cabinet. Uh-oh. I'm not kidding. I think I heard a little... If something falls out, we're going to have to take a look underneath, and then... Hopefully it's not disastrous. If it's disastrous, then we got a problem. Cross your fingers. The other thing about... oh, we got all of Magic, by the way. On ball 5. Oh, Orbit. Orbit. Oh, nah, I told. I tried to save that one. That didn't quite work, but yesterday I was streaming Batman 66. My most modern game that I have. And oh, nuts. I was talking about earlier in the day, not necessarily for Father's Day, but earlier in the day, I went out and actually played pinball. We've got a few places that are opening up with some social distancing guidelines here in Colorado. It was a lot of fun. And so I always like to ask people, if you haven't gotten a chance to get out, let's say, your favorite place was opening up, and see if that was lit. It would have been 10 points every time it hit, rather than a measly 1 point for all those like 10 hits I got. If your favorite place, or maybe even not your favorite place, but just a place opened up nearby, and you got a chance to actually play some pinball, and, you know, regardless of what the location's history was and what games they may have had, let's just say they had whatever game you wanted. What game would be your first game to actually play on location? I always like to ask that. I think that's a fun question, just to see what everybody's opinions say. I've asked that question a couple of times on other streams, so I feel like saying the same answer. That's fine. My answer is always Indiana Jones, and I played Indiana Jones not that long ago. About a week ago when the place was able to open up. They were doing a Father's Day special, so they were a little busier than the previous week. But I know there's people who haven't touched pinball in 3 months. You know, not everybody has working games in their home. Sometimes they've got iffy games. But Indiana Jones, the Pinball Adventure, not the Stern one. Not that I have anything against that one. That's my favorite. Indiana Jones was my dream theme before I knew about dream themes. Darn it. Bunch of non-flipping action going on there. I didn't have to flip to get all those points. There you go. I like when the pop bumper gives me a little extra love to hit that target. Even though I hit that target dead on anyway. Get the points, guys. Oh, that could have counted. That's alright. I didn't deserve it. I didn't want it bad enough. Got the one. That's not bad for ball 3. Let's see here. We are on the City Eye right now. I say it doesn't matter. You always want to roll over that button. Now the tea is available. Oh, no, the tea is not available. You have to get the tea the old-fashioned way. Oh, got the tea the old-fashioned way. We got all the city. There's the G lit, but now it's not. Oh, nice. Oh, we got 2,000 even. That was kind of nice. It's always nice to hear the knocker when you haven't heard it in a while, but I do have the jumper in the back, so we are playing freebie. Oh, I smell a buzzing. Or not smell a buzzing, I hear a buzzing. We'll count it. Count it. Nice. 2451. Yay. All right, so. I invited the folks over at the Facebook EM group to join, so if you're there from there, appreciate you guys hanging out. I do a lot of lurking on that page because I just got the 2 EMs, and I was gonna post up the question, you know, what do I do about the bell? Because all I did was I went to the hardware store. I went to the hardware store and I bought just the carriage bolts that went through the back of the cabinet where the large bell was. And the large bell sits, if this is the back of the cabinet, the large bell sits going this way. And so I bought a grommet to put in the middle, put the carriage bolt from the back, put a locking nut on it. And then when I put the coil on there, the coil wasn't reaching the bell. Like, it was just a little bit short, so I actually put another grommet. So I think I gotta put maybe a standoff, like a rubber standoff or something, maybe an inch or so, and then I gotta get a longer carriage bolt. I only got about an inch and a half, but like I say, the large bell was completely missing from the game with this burnt up coil that I have. Oh, come on, darn it. I would advocate for more, goodness, that one's really shotgun. I would advocate for more EMs to be in tournaments. I don't know, usually kind of a lack of a competition mode or something like that. Like, just in general, that there's no way to, like, this one doesn't award extra balls, but I mean, I guess there are ways to, like, turn off extra balls. There's some jumpers in the back box for that. Maybe this one would be okay. I would have to fix the pop bumpers and stuff like that. But Colorado had Pin Masters, the IFPA Pin Masters, and Super Soccer, and Prospector, and Surfer was part of the bank. And Prospector and Surfer went down, and they had to be taken out. And there probably could have been a handful of repairs. People not actually working on games probably could have gotten them up and running, but I think they're a lot of fun. I like hearing the chimes or the bells, especially when they're working. And you get both bells, like I said, that was completely silent previous to Saturday. That was the first time I ordered anything from Pinball Resource. I was pleasantly surprised how quick the shipping was. Oh, man. Probably should have flipped that one. But because I drained and the spot is on the magic eye, then I got a good chance of maybe hitting it on the skill or missing it entirely and missing it up there. So, never mind. Now it's moved off of it. Frustrating. Oh, I got stopped by the rubber on the flipper. That's alright. Well, I'm good, Butt Cheek Flipper. How are you doing today? I saw that you may have wanted to go up to Wonderland. Now, I don't know if I know exactly who you are, but I do believe that I saw you chatting it up in the Wonderland Brewing Company. That was another one of the Colorado places that was opening up with some social distancing. I didn't make it up there, but I made it to I made it over to the Colorado Pinball Pub. Got to play some Elvira Scared Steve, which my wife found out that she really likes that one. So now she's got a couple of favorites. So if you know somebody who wants to sell their Scared Stiff for $4, I think I got $4 in my pocket right now, go ahead and let me know. I'll be willing to make that deal tonight. So, I'm sorry, are you saying that you did actually go to Wonderland? Because it would be cool to know how that social distancing works. Colorado Pinball Pub has got they've got it where they separated the games into pods. You select your pod. There's 3 games to each pod. 4 pods total. Oh, we got all the city. And you're kind of in there for the night. It looked like Wonderland Brewing Company had a nice sanitizing station that after you were done playing, sprayed it down, wiped it down, and then you moved on to the next game. Colorado Pinball Pub was doing $10 per hour per person, and you could have like 6 people in your group on a pod, which they were really busy for all that. So yeah, every other game. 1-to-1 games, rotation daily, every other machine was off. Yeah, I heard that they were doing yellow games, green games, and pink games. The yellow games were supposed to be on all the time. That was really like their newer games, Wonka, Stranger Things. When they get turtles, they were going to do that too. And then they had pink games and green games. Like today was a green day, I think, and then yesterday was a pink game, and they'll keep on rotating like that. That sounds like a pretty good way to do it. They were, I think, explaining it on their Facebook site that they were doing it like gym rules. So, like, if you've ever been to the gym, or a fitness center, I've gone to Planet Fitness, you can totally tell, but Planet Fitness has the sanitizing stations that after you're done doing whatever you're doing, you spray it all down and it should be good. Although the disinfectant always looks like it's just water in a bottle, maybe with a little purple dye in it. So, Oh, yeah, based on Brewfield's rules. Okay, but yeah, bigger area now. Bigger than before when they shut down. Because I think I went. I think I played in the. Oh, come on. I think I played in the February tournament. Because I didn't think the March tournament had to be delayed or canceled. But yeah, I know they had that area working. They had the wall up, which was really to prevent the ping pongers from sending ping pongs into ping pong balls into. Oh, that was a terrific save. Get it. There you go. Now we got them all. There you go. 2 for 1. Too soon. Ah. We'll take a free game. Because we're not doing very well on free games at all. Let's move the phone up here so I can see it a little better. New walls ping pong is gone for now with 2 new walls. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm gonna have to maybe have to see if I can check it out. Maybe next weekend, because since I was familiar how Pinball Pub had did it since I went there the week prior, I was feeling a little bit more comfortable on that one. So cool. I'm glad that things are open again. If there wasn't such a scariness of death, it would be awesome if everything could just be back to what it was, but I'm kind of lucky that I was able to pick up this machine while we were under lockdown. There you go. What do we need left? Got the G. Oh, could have gotten it there. Not going to get it now. And there it goes. Sayonara. Like I say, getting over 2,000 points. That's the first replay on here. It goes 2,000, 2,400, 3,100, 3,500. Getting over 2,000. Not that easy. But, yeah. Doing a little EM Monday. I kind of like this. And, hopefully it'll continue. Now, Mondays was normally Blizzard Mountain Pinball's League nights. So, if that ever changes, then maybe we'll have to make it EM Wednesday or something like that. Yeah, nuts. Once it gets into here, then it's kind of so long. Al Anonymous, is this a new Stern? This is a premium. This is a super premium LE edition. Magic City from before I was born. Actually, both of my EMs are from before I was born. But we're not gonna worry about it when people are age. This game has cost me points. I can understand that. And as you can probably, well, you might be able to tell, I replaced the skirts on the pop bumpers on Saturday. I also put in the large bell, so when it was hitting these 100 points and when these are lit 10 points or that 10 points there or any of those rollovers up there, there was no sound because there was no 100-point bell or large bell in there. So now it's actually making sounds. It's kind of nice. But yeah, this is Magic City right here. The bell does sound nice. Thank you. Like I said, I need to stand it off a little bit from the back of the cabinet. I don't know. Can you guys buy? Every time I go to the hardware store, carriage bolts all have like screw heads on them, right? Phillips or flathead screw heads, combo or Phillips. That was a terrible game. And so right now the carriage bolt going from the back of the cabinet into the bell, it's got a Phillips screw on the back of it. It makes it kind of easy to hold in, but it's not the traditional like carriage bolt with, it's like all the carriage bolts in the world that small. I think it was number 10-32, whatever that means. Sorry, I'm not great with hardware, but I couldn't find them to do that thing. There's bolts to hold carriage bolts to hold the, what do I want to call it? I got the star. Hang on, guys. Ah, nuts. To hold the hooks on the underneath the apron to hold it to the lockdown area, there's actually two carriage bolts that go down through the underneath the apron with a nut that's going in. And like I say, it was carriage bolts, but I couldn't find any carriage bolts that actually were just the plain rounded tops. They had to have something like that. So yeah, I don't know if the small ones come that way, which is okay. I mean, guess it doesn't make it original, but I'd rather have the bell than no bell, so. So, Al Anonymous, since you're here, the Buck Chief Flipper is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. You guys can tell me, and I've asked this question on stream a whole bunch of times, if someplace were to open up, and regardless of what they used to have, let's just say they had whatever game that you wanted to play, and you hadn't been able to touch pinball. Now, I know Al Anonymous has got pinball and some arcade games and stuff like that. But let's say there's a game that you've been dying to play and you haven't been able to play it for 3 months for whatever reason. Tell me which game it is, because I'd love to know. I went to the Colorado Pinball Pub mainly to play Indiana Jones, the pinball adventure. And I'm glad that I got to, because that was a lot of fun. And then that was a week ago Sunday. Yesterday, we decided to do a different pod because they were actually busy. And that pod included Jersey Jack Pirates, Iron Maiden, and Scared Stiff. And I hadn't played Scared Stiff for real in a long time. And my wife really likes that game. And so, nothing that a grinder can't fix. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be that. Yeah, the internet has everything too, so. Okay, I gotta. Sorry, I'm using my phone as the chat window because the computer's got the chat window right there, but it's just a little bit too small for my eyes. So, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I saw the Rick and Morty thing. I'm like, what, Rick and Morty? Now I know. No, this is like the prequel to every game. This is before they had. Yeah, I'm almost surprised this game's got flippers. It's got really tiny flippers. But actually, no. The spot star is on the spotlight is on the star. Now I gotta get this rollover. So, get it? No. Nailed it. And now it's not on the star. Oh, nuts. Darn it. That would have been a really good save. Like I say, a lot of this is a lot of non-flipping. And there's like this lower orbit thing that kind of happens with it. So, I went to play Wonka, Jurassic Park, Stranger Things. Oh, and Madness Royal. Oh, nice. Yeah, we were, They have the original Madness at Colorado Pinball Pub, but that was being taken up by some people. That was actually my wife's favorite game. She likes that. She likes 8-Ball Deluxe, and she likes now Scared Stiff. So, of course, those are always the ones that are the most desirable. So, finding those for about $4 on Craigslist, don't think it's going to happen. I wish it would happen. No! Only one pinball butt cheek? Which one is it? Because I'd love to know. 4 arcade games, too. You can tell me about those, because I'd love to know about that. Maybe I'm coming over. Unless it's Big Buck Hunter. I'm... Not the pinball machine, but the actual game. Yeah. I tell you, we're living like some weird kind of golden age of being able to fix these games up. Yeah, like I say, I invited a bunch of people from the Facebook group EM Pinball, and if you're from there, that's great. Appreciate you being there, but I'm kind of more of a lurker on that Facebook, but there's plenty of YouTube videos about fixing pinballs, and I think that's awesome. And so sometimes you can get into a good deal of, I've got a Medieval Madness and it doesn't quite power on. $4. Okay. Sold, American. Actually, more for Medieval Madness, even though they came out with the remakes, which the remakes are just a little bit different. Teeny tiny different. They still look awesome. Oh, look at that. Come on, Star. Nailed it. Oh, Stern Star Trek Pro. Nice. Okay, yeah, you don't have to. You can whisper that. That's cool. I appreciate it. No, the Star Trek is a good game I'd love to play too. Yeah, I got a little shotgunning there. I'm gonna say these switches, I mean, they still use like leaf switches anyway in games, but these ones have got some kind of extra finesse in these particular ones. So when I put those new skirts in there, oh wow. When I put the new skirts in there, I was like, oh, I was all proud of myself. I'm like, yeah, look at what I did. Because you have to unsolder the pop bumper, the light socket in it. You have to unsolder it from underneath. So you usually have to take the mech off of it and then pull it through and then take the skirt off and undo a couple of screws, put it back together, I was just like, hey, this is great. This takes me 4 hours of time. But I was actually pretty impressed with myself, and the first time I fired it up, I got a lot of shotgunning like that, where it didn't actually count any of that touching of the skirt. That didn't quite happen. You would look at it funny, and it would. I was like, oh boy, I'm getting in there with my switch tool and try to switch it. I'll probably have to really raise the playfield. I was trying to do it probably stupidly and not the way that you should do it, because I was trying to do it with the power on, but because I mean, turning it off, adjusting the switch, turning it back on, starting a game, it's pretty old. Pretty quick. But no, come on. Oh, who designs these games? Norm Clark. And actually, Norm Clark designed Dealer's Choice, my other EM that I have, that I love dearly. I'm going to guess that that's a relay issue. The reason why the Y, because the Y should turn off when it spots. It should turn on here, turn off there. That way you know that you don't have to hit it again. But at least it's lighting it on this panel. Since I haven't yet spelled Magic City all the way. If you do spell Magic City, it lights the Outlane specials. If you get the star, it lights the middle pop bumper as well as these two specials down here. And so I haven't quite gotten to the point where I have found that spelling Magic City, or that Y is actually being counted. We may not find out this game, actually. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Sometimes you flip, and it works out great. Sometimes you don't flip, and it's awesome, Butt Cheek Flavor. Send me a message. Glad that you were checking in and everything like that. I'm glad that you were able to get out and play some pinball. And thanks for the follow as well. That was really cool. Earlier when I was talking, or I was leaving a message on the Facebook group, the EM Pinball Facebook group, I got a message that, and you can actually see it on the events, I think, is that Captain Spaceballs followed, so thank you for that too. Uh-oh. Hang tight. I don't let that one drain. Uh-oh. Interesting. So we got a big buzz and everything like that, and then the 100 point didn't ding there, so I'm wondering if there's still a stuck switch problem with the 100 point, because one of the reasons why we didn't have a bell in there is because we had this big, huge, burnt-up coil in there. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Let's go ahead and keep playing. Okay, I don't hear anything, so now we don't hear anything in. Wow, I didn't realize this, guys, is that we've spelled most of Magic City, and this is only ball 3. So, spot is on the star, gotta roll over the top deal. Gonna miss it. Darn it. Darn it. Alright. I still say roll over the top button if you can, because that will... Okay, so now we... Nice. So that Y is registering correctly. Even though it's not turning off over there, I bet that's just a relay. Alright, so we got Magic City. Just rolling that over. Maybe we can... Come on. Watch it. Yeah, rats. Not gonna get that. Alright. Still not the highest score. Highest score is this right up here, 2451. So, Oh, I plunged the ball that wasn't there. I'm going to grab a drink if you don't mind. Excuse me. We ordered from Pizza Hut tonight. I don't know about you, but I know there's plenty of people who hate Pizza Hut. I'm actually a big fan of Pizza Hut. And because Pizza Hut, when I want pizza, gets the job done. Although, I guess, they were having some problems with not having enough delivery people. And so our pizza was very delayed. So I actually didn't eat before I started streaming. So if I fall over because I haven't eaten, go ahead and call 911 and confuse the heck out of them, because wherever you're calling from is not necessarily where we need 911 to react from. There's got to be a story out there of somebody doing that, right? 911, what's your emergency? Yes, I'm watching Twitch right now, and this guy's playing pinball, and he just fell over, and he's not making any noise, and I can't see him on the stream, but I think he might be bleeding from the head. So nobody's come down to check on him, and he might be dying, so could you help him out? Okay, where's the streamer from? I don't know. I mean, we all know that Jack Danger's in Chicago. Buffalo Pinball is in Buffalo, New York, or at least only when Buffalo Pinball proper is there, because if it's any of the other guys, they're all over the place. Was your bell and play light working earlier? Oh, ball and play. It should be. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be. I was not paying attention. I know that the 5 wasn't there. Oh, we're stuck? Are we stuck? Yeah, we're stuck. Haha. Where's it stuck on, though? That should be 208. Alright, so, there you go. Let's see if we can do this without completely breaking things, guys. We're going to hit the deactivate. We're going to hit the activate button. That looks better, right? Blinking lights and everything like that. It does on occasion, and I got to pay more attention to it. We're even going to... Like a modern Stern, if you hit the start button on free play, it starts the game over. Oh, lower orbit. No. Ah, not. Yeah, Pizza Hut is passable. Unknown Machine. Appreciate you checking in, and also keeping an eye out on the stream there. Magic City from Williams. A game older than I am. But that's cool because it still runs. It's still a lot of fun to play. It's frustrating as all heck. And I am going to blame this gal right here for that. She's distracting with whatever she's doing. She like... I mean, it's like all these people are in a lounge. These guys are at the bar. These guys are sitting at the advanced table. These guys are... And she's just kind of dancing like nobody's watching. So I'm going to blame her. I want to know what's the story behind Magic City. I understand that Norm Clark originally wanted a color wheel. And if you guys haven't checked it out, I should find it for you. No one out Pizza Hut. Bojo's is the best, closest to Denver. Anthony's pretty solid too. You know, Bojo's is like strictly Colorado. It's good to see Lord Howard Hurts as well. Yeah, Yeah, Anthony's is pretty good if you want like pizza for days because it's gigantic. But the one over by the 3 Up actually has really good pizza. But let me see if I can show you guys something. I don't know if I can pull it up, but Fun with Pinball. I've talked about Mark Gibson's site before. Here, I can probably bring it up if I go like that, and let's go window capture. Sure, there it is. All right, so this is Fun with Pinball's website. Let me hit this button here, and it's scrolling through the things. Mark actually goes to a lot of the expos that he could go to, and he takes along like these demonstration, almost like toys and gimmicks. Like this pop bumper one is good, where you actually see underneath it and what it actually does when the ball hits the skirt, and then the pop actually slams down, and the stainless steel ring actually shoots the ball back, and everything there. The baseball one that's on the screen there. But what he did was he was finding out that Norm Clark originally wanted to do the color wheel for Magic City. So instead of the blinking lights in this area of the back box, he actually wanted a color wheel that would spin the wheel. And I can't play the video for it because of the way that OBS is not working on my computer like this. But what Mark actually did was he took the lights and he created a circuit board, and he got these little LED color changing lights, and he was able to program it through a little programmable diode. I don't know. But he's got it where it actually spins the lights. But I guess it was deemed too expensive when the game was originally produced. And it's a really cool effect. So if you go to Fun with Pinball, he actually made it so that it would fit into the Magic City. Would I like to get one of these? Maybe. But I think it's a really cool deal. And then also Mark has a thing. I should show this to you too, guys, if you're interested. I know he's part of the Facebook group, but he does like these exhibits and these other learning things. So take a look here, and he does like these workshops, and you can find out more about that. And my wife is trying to sneak in without being said or being seen. But yeah, so that's Fun with Pinball, and the back box froze again while I was doing that. So let's go here, and we gotta click here. Having a little problems, I think, with this camera. There you go. That's how it goes. So I'll finish up this game, and then you can play.
Actually,
What?
I came down to tell you Sarah has a ride
Oh.
home.
Oh, great.
I'm going to bed.
She's going to bed.
I'm going to be taking some Benadryl.
Oh, she's going to take some Benadryl. So,
Yes, so I will just say goodnight now.
okay.
You enjoy your games.
Okay.
I will see you later.
Thanks for coming down. She takes Benadryl because she gets itchy by everything. And because we had pizza, and whenever she eats tomatoes, she gets a little bit itchy. But then she was also outside, and so there are bugs outside, and sometimes the bugs bite her, and then she gets itchy about that. And what we've all learned about Benadryl is that you can't itch while you're in a coma. Knocks her right out, so... yeah, you know what? I did, is that Nick, who is on the Facebook EM group? I did watch his video. I was actually going to ask him if he could take a picture of that large bell in the back to see what it was, but then I kind of figured it out for myself, although I think I still need a little bit of help with that one. But, yeah, Nick was talking about Mark's, color changing thing. But yeah, if you're interested in Mark's, EM classes, they're actually... I mean, it's pinball classes and stuff like that. And Mark takes these exhibits. He like puts them into these wooden cases, and he goes along the country. He ran into Todd Tuckey from TNT Amusements, and he's on one of Todd Tuckey's things from the expo, the Chicago Expo last year. He kind of ran into him really quick. So Yeah, the color changing board is actually really cool. Oh, guys, I don't know what's going on with this camera. We may need to check this out. This guy keeps on pausing on me. What is going on, Backlash? Let's switch it over. You're gonna see something funky probably here with me. Hi. And then we're gonna go back to the cam link. Cross your fingers that it's gonna work, and actually we'll kill that. Maybe that's what's going on. We'll keep an eye on it. If you guys let me know. Not a loss of a connection, but or at least I hope it's not a lost connection. It seems like it's right here in front of me. It's like the microphone's here, the back box camera's there. Sometimes when these cameras don't like talking to each other, we're talking at the same time, so I guess I'll have to do this after every flip. Keep on looking at it. The funny thing is with that EM, come on, that EM Facebook page or Facebook group is that everybody takes a picture of like their game in their back of their car and everything. They're like, look, another one followed me home. I'm like, where are you people finding these deals? Hopefully you're not losing your lunch over them, or you're not, betting the farm on these games. Hopefully you're getting like these really killer deals, which I think in my mind that you're getting. But I see these people taking all these pictures of their great games in the back, and it's like, man, I'm just not finding these deals. There was a Doodlebug that was up for sale on Craigslist here, either Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, and person sold it for, I'm gonna guess he actually had it up for a while, and I think the lowest price I saw it online was for $5.99, and I'm like, if this wasn't my furlough week that I wasn't going to get paid directly from work. I mean, I get other compensation from work, don't worry. I still got money, just not as much money as I would normally get, so come on. Oh, look at that. Oh, we got the Magic City, guys. This is where all the magic happens. Oh, and I just needed to go down special lanes. Man, we're still, it's this guy over here. I'm sorry, we get a follow. Das Bacons. I like that name. Thank you very much for the follow. And thanks for checking it out. It's EM Monday. It is Magic City from Williams. It's the oldest game that I've got. It's actually you could say it's the 6th game that I've got, because I have... I'm sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. I have Dealer's Choice, which is another Norm Clark Williams game from 1974. And then I got World Cup, Williams World Cup from 1978, solid state game. Speakeasy from 1982 from Bally. That's another solid state game. And then I got Batman 66, which is my most modern game. I also won that from Project Pinball back in November, so that's why I have kind of a modern game. And then we also got the flip side from American Girl. I streamed that one a little bit ago. You can go back and take a look at the video. And then I just picked up this Magic City about 3 weeks ago. and had to do a little extra stuff to it. I replaced the pop bumper skirts underneath, and but now switches are a little wonky. They're having a good time. Sometimes machine gunning the upper pop bumpers, because actually these two pop bumpers fire at the same time, and I think that's by design. I could probably get in the schematics a little bit and actually figure that out, but I think they call it bumper 1 and bumper 2. Bumper 2 would be the one in the middle. Darn it. That would have been a nice little thing. I bought... okay, so the funny story... If you're... Some people have already heard this story, so I apologize if I'm way over repeating myself. But I bought 2 tickets for that one, and I usually do. I usually buy 2. And that one was at the premium raffle. It was when Jurassic Park was offered as their premium machine that they're giving away. I don't know if you guys know about Project Pinball. But Project Pinball, a charity that does a raffle to support themselves so they can continue to operate. Plus, they try to raise enough money to give away a machine as well as place a machine in like a children's hospital or Ronald McDonald House. One, to grow pinball with introducing it to children. And then, of course, these children to try to give their mind off of whatever they're suffering from or whatever disease that they're battling at children's hospitals or at Ronald McDonald House and stuff like that. I know that I think the Children's Hospital here in Denver has like Iron Man from a few years ago that Project Pinball placed in there. So they do that to try to raise the funds to keep operating as well as give away the machine. They usually do like a new Stern Pro, a new Stern Premium. They usually do 2 raffles at the same time. Right now, I think they've got 4 of them going because I think they got one for Hot Wheels. They got one for Turtles Premium specifically. I'd have to double check that. And then they have one for a pro level machine where you can kind of choose whichever one is available, pro and also premium. So I had been entering the ones premium, pros, and everything like that. I usually kind of hold off on the premiums, and the premium one, I didn't think that I entered that one. And what they do is they... Oh, nuts. Nuts. Only had 2 more. I enter the pro ones pretty regularly. $50. I usually do 2 of them. And sometimes what I do is, because they just give you the next available tickets that are available, they number them from 1 to 200. And sometimes I'll buy one and then wait a little bit of time and then buy another one later on. So I get kind of 2 different numbers. It really shouldn't matter, you know, lottery-wise. But, so, again, I didn't think that I had bought premium ones. When they sell out, they usually make an announcement, and they'll be like, okay, hey, we sold out of our... They only sell 200. That's usually enough to buy. Buy one, give one away. And after 200, they usually announce on their Facebook page, they're like, we'll do the live drawing on Sunday. At this time, make sure you tune into YouTube. Well, something happened that week, and they had to delay the drawing. No big deal. I kind of forgot about it after a couple of days. They finally had it on a Tuesday night. And it's like the Tuesday a week before Thanksgiving or something like that. I had been out at League, and I think I stayed out a little bit too long. Anyway, my wife and I were arguing about something. Finally, we were trying to cool off. We're sitting on the couch, and I'm just kind of letting YouTube videos play on my smart TV, and we finally get to the drawing. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that they were doing the drawing, but I don't think I entered this one. Let's just watch it. It's like a 5-minute video. And I get done, and Dan from Project Pinball, he's like, okay, here's our number. It is, I think, 172. And then he looks on his piece of paper, and he's just like, and 172 is... And he looks at it, and he reads off the name like he can't even believe it. He's like, David Johnson. He's like, okay, so you're the winner. He shows the paper to the thing. And I'm like, wouldn't that just be my luck? David Johnson's actually kind of a common name for people about my age. Johnson being one. David kind of being a popular name in the 70s and 80s. And I'm like, that would just be my luck. And this actually happens to me at like casinos and stuff like that. Is that there'll be multiple David Johnsons out there. And that was incredible. And so at a casino, they'll be like, hey, David Johnson, it's your turn to spin the big wheel. And I'll be like, okay, let me show up. And I'll get there. And they'll be like, oh, no, actually, we confirmed it's this other David Johnson. I'm like, sure. Can we check IDs? Can we check royalty numbers? Yeah, no, it's definitely this guy. So I figured that would just be completely my luck, is that another David Johnson would win. In fact, the first time I signed up for a pinball tournament in Colorado, there was 2 David Johnsons at that event. It actually confused the event organizers. They were like, we've got 24 people, but 25 people have paid. How is this possible? Hey, what's your name? David Johnson. Oh, you're the other David Johnson. I'm like, oh, great. By the way, that other David Johnson, really nice guy. In fact, a buddy of him, when they found out that David Johnson had won, contacted the other David Johnson, was like, hey, congratulations on winning the pinball machine. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, because he didn't enter. So yeah, so I did that. It was for the Jurassic Park Premium, and I was just like, I'll be honest with you, Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic Park does not really appeal to me. Plus, by that time, a whole bunch of places had it, and we weren't on lockdown, so if I wanted to play it, I could just go and play it. If I wanted to be good, it would actually be kind of nice to have it at the house, so I could just play it without having to spend money on it and get good at it, kind of like Batman 66. I always said something about Batman was, it's my favorite game that nobody had. And so, yeah, 2 Rob Smiths. Exactly. So, yeah, so it actually worked out really nice, is that I, for the one time that I didn't think I entered, I actually won. So, and I still do. I mean, I've had to back off on doing them. They actually didn't do a lot of raffles for a while. They had to shut down, being in Florida and being a charity in Florida. They had to shut down for a while, but then they picked it up just recently, especially with like Turtles getting announced and stuff. So. And I would think, they advertise it as usually the brand new Stern machine, whatever the new Stern machine is. And they did give away one Rick and Morty, which that raffle sold out really quick. And I think they did it at a higher price too. I didn't win that one. 1700. Still trying to get this score right here. 2451. That's the highest score of the night. But yeah, Batman 66 has been a really great game, and I'm actually very lucky to have won it. It's actually, again, hindsight being 2020, it's actually really fortunate that we also had, before I got this one, 4 machines in the house, all in working order. World Cup gets a little finicky, but I've got ways to fix that. But I'm very fortunate to have what I've got as far as that, and then also with the quarantine, and because I was helping out Colorado Pinball with the IFPA North American Championship, they were nice enough to invite me to help them out with that. PoppyMan42 just subscribed again? Are you kidding me? And I was just giving him some really great props, too. It's like his ears were burning. have subscribed for 2 months in a row. Thank you very much, Puppyman, for re-upping that subscription. But I was just saying that I kind of got the streaming bug from Colorado Pinball, which is what Puppyman also does. I kind of got that streaming bug from helping out with the Pin Masters and the IFPA. So thank you very much for that as well. Because this has been a lot of fun being able to do it, but... We're actually up to 113 followers. When I started the stream, it was 111, or as the Hobbits like to say, 1100 or something like that. Or in binary, 7. Oh, I should short plunge it like that all the time. But also, Puppyman, we were talking about, I went out to Colorado Pinball Pub again, and my wife played Scared Stiff for the first time, and actually it's one of the first times for me as well. I hadn't played Scared Stiff in real life in a really long time. She's got a new favorite game, so if you know anybody who's got a Scared Stiff for sale that could sell it to us for $4, because that's what I've got in my pocket right now, let me know. Of course... 11D1, that's right. You're absolutely right now that you say that. Now, of course, my wife's favorite games right now are Medieval Madness, 8-Ball Deluxe, and Scared Stiff. Like, some of the most desirable games out there. We just had an Indiana Jones, my favorite game, sell for $7,000 from Craigslist, or I'm assuming that it was about that much, but that's what they had it listed for. And it's like... I can't. Where's this money coming from? And like the age-old saying says, is that I've got no money and 3 kids instead of lots of money and no kids, but they're all blessings. I love them all. Most of the time. But yeah, I was advocating for more EMs and tournaments. Not this game, though. Only because I'd be so bad at it. Oh, but we got the star. That's great. Oh, we got the twofer? No! Ah, gosh. Oh, and I tilted. It's alright, that was ball 5. And it doesn't do anything. It just sits here. And it's just like, you tilted. You're the worst person ever. It doesn't even give a bad call out. Can't even do exclamation point tilt in my chat. That's not how that works. Oh, Greenfields is open. Oh, okay. Nice. It's kind of nice that these places are opening up. Wonderland is open as well. And they were doing Broomfield's gym rules for it. Which I think it was a cool way of saying it, is that they had a sanitizing station in the middle of all their games, and they would have you sanitize your game in between. They were actually doing coin drops, like dollar game coin drops. Pinball Pub was doing $10 per hour per person per pod. But yeah, I was also saying that the guy who does the Dracula voice for the Elvira games is also the NBA Jam guy. So, if you could just put it in your head that he's just like, same guy who goes, turn out the lights, it's time to get scared, Steve, is this same guy. He's on fire! Obviously, that is not me. Come on. Oh, jeez. There's a lot of no flipping on that one. Oh yeah, he does the rod. And I meant to say that too. Can you imagine? It'd be like, hey, we got a new game. Oh yeah, what is it this time? We need you to be Rod Sterling. Oh yeah, I can do that. What kind of lines do you want me to say? Behind this door. Oh, that one's easy. I can totally do that. There. See what greed will get you? Wasn't that from that other game? Yes, but we want you to say it in Rod Sterling voice. Yeah, and I think they also invited him. Stern's NBA game was also him too. So nice career. I always say if you can use the pipes to make a whole lot of money, good for you. Those who can do. Those who can't program radio. That was always the thing. I've been working at my job for well, this will be 18 years now, and I'm actually kind of happy. You know, working in radio sometimes can be stressful. A lot of times can be cushy. But I always wanted to be on the air, and I was on the air for a really long time while I was working there, and I was working really hard and everything like that. And they were like, "Well, you seem to know a lot about these computers, so maybe we can get you into this other management role, and we'll have you do this instead." And I'm like, "Because I don't want to do that. I want to talk about Garth Brooks. Actually, I don't want to talk about Garth Brooks. I want to talk about Madonna." Maybe not Madonna. That was... Okay, that guy... Now his resume is too long, Lord Howard Hertz. We need to... You and I need to get in on some of that money. Oh, you got another game coming up? No. Don't get that guy. I got this other guy. This other guy, what does he like to do? He likes to watch game shows on Buzzer. And honestly, he could probably do a mean Gene Rayburn impression. Silly Sally was so silly. Instead of making pasta for her spaghetti, she made it with blank. Then you get those contestants. I mean, every once in a while, it's like they got fed the answer where it's just like, they made it with string, and then everybody kind of is just like, okay, that's a pretty good guess. What do you think, Richard Dawson? Yeah, I said string. And then other times it'll just be like, instead of petting her dog, she pet her blank. You know, and then it'll be like, her pet bat. What? Nobody has a pet bat one. What a dumb answer. You know what? Maybe Gene Rayburn was the originator of the Steve Harvey face. You know the Steve Harvey face. Naked grandma. Naked... The Steve Harvey face. Oh, it looks like we got people doing laundry. No, you do laundry. I'd rather you have clean clothes than me playing good pinball. Oh, and I tilted too. That's alright, that's how it goes. We're missing out on some world-class pinball voice acting skills. Although, since it had been a while since I played Scared Stiff, I forgot how much call-outs. I mean, Tim does a lot of call-outs as Dracula, but Cassandra Peterson did a lot of Elvira callouts on that game. And the fact that she got dressed up like she doesn't do anymore for the new Stern game, I think that's actually pretty remarkable. That's a game that I never got a chance to play. I have not played that game at all. Okay, stop machine gunning, guys. I keep talking about this for this game. So, this game, when I got it, only had the one bell for the 1 point. So, anytime that hits these bumpers, or if the red pop bumpers aren't lit, they only score 1 point. You have to actually roll over the button or hit the center target to light them up. I only had the 1 point bell. And then there's another bell, a 5-inch bell, that does the 10 point or the 100 points if the blue one is lit up, or any of the rollovers. Like, all these rollovers are all 100 points. I didn't have that bell until just this Saturday. So now I think it sounds pretty good, darn good. I just have to be careful because we had an incident earlier where it started buzzing on me. And when they start buzzing on you, then you get crispy as the more of the stuff falls off. Yeah, that was in the back, the plunger for ringing the bell that wasn't actually in the game. Like, a higher bell wasn't in the game. This was in the back. It was still actually hooked up, so not a great situation. But remedied and good. And then I also got these skirts underneath. But the switch where the spoon is, where the skirt hits, is a little wonky, so I still have to work on that. So, I saw her when, well, I've never seen her live. I saw her in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She was the biker chick that, when Pee-wee goes into the biker bar and they're all grabbing him after he's just like on the phone. He's like, "Shh, I'm trying to make a call." My bad Pee-wee impression. It was a lot better when I was 10. And then they grab him and everything like that. And they throw him out. He knocks over all the bikes, and then they bring him back in and they put him on the table. And it's just like, I say we kill him. I say we gut them and then we kill him. And then he goes, I think we should let him go. They're all like, no. And then she comes up in her biker gear and everything like that, and her mullet. She's like, I say you let me deal with him. Then he gets his last request. Does the tequila dance. So there you go. But yeah, I guess she hasn't done the Elvira personality. I guess there was a reality show a while back that she actually was trying to recruit somebody to be the next Elvira. I don't know if that went anywhere. That was back when I was, really doing radio DJ stuff. And I don't know if you know this, but they have services that gather all that stuff up for us to talk about. So if it's just like, hey, did you hear Cassandra Peterson is looking for the next Elvira? Not only is one DJ that you're listening to locally is saying it, but 500 other DJs are saying it too. So when I was a regular DJ, it was just like, oh yeah, she's going to be looking for the next Elvira. I hope she has made a bunch of money on Elvira. Didn't she have like 2 movies? Maybe it's just the one movie that didn't actually go anywhere, but and that was all from like dressing up and hosting almost like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type of deal, where she was just like doing the host segments. She wasn't even. It was just like, wow, this is a terrible movie. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Saturday night or whatever it was. And she was just doing those in between host segments. She wasn't actually doing like the actual like Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing. Oh, by the way, I've been doing a lot of that. Watching Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Twitch. Like they're just rolling. I don't know if they're showing like actual full episodes or they're just showing clips. Like my attention isn't that much. I remember sitting down on Friday nights and watching it on Comedy Central. You know, this is like 91 when Denver first got Comedy Central. It had been on for like a year or so before we got it. And yeah, 91. And so I was like 15. And every Friday night, 2 hours watching Mystery Science Theater. Nowadays, I can watch maybe 15 minutes and then I gotta do something else. I'm always surprised that my attention span for that thing is not lasted. So I'm not even sure they're actually doing whole segments. I know they're taking breaks. Like they're taking breaks and advertising Shout Factory, because I think Shout Factory is the people who are actually doing it. But they're doing that, and then Cinematic Titanic, which is what Joel Hodgson was doing later on with a couple of Mystery Science Theater 3000 people. I actually got a signed picture from these guys. They had them, they came out to Starfest in like 92, 93. That was actually really cool. Back in the day. But yeah, so I'm watching it, but I'm not watching it. If it's on, it's kind of in the background. And like I say, I think they kind of like roll through segments. I don't think they actually like do 100% segments or whatnot, but alright, do the skill shot. Try to get 2 of them rather than just the one. As I like to call it the twofer. Always want to spot the star, because that's the only way you can get it. Darn it. So you can only get the star if the spotting light is on the star and you hit this target, or if you roll over the top target. Because the top target lights whatever it's spotlighted on, and then moves the target over. And then the target moves every time it hits this pop bumper. So there's a skill shot in it where you really want to go over that rollover at the top, so that even if you don't light, you know, if it was on the G, which we already have, it would still light up the red bumpers for 10 points, which is 10 times the scoring of it. So, missed it. I mean, really, if you can roll, oh my gosh, if you can roll over the thing, like it hit this a whole bunch of times, so I'm on the eye right now, the magic eye. It's a schooner. If you could spot a letter plus roll over a letter. Who made this game? Why do I want it in competitions? Just got a political ad text at 9:45 with a photo attachment. Which political, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm always surprised when state representatives or senators or any of those local government people get a hold of me, because then I'm like, how did you get this number? But they'll call. I've gotten some text. I've gotten some text for Rebecca. Did you guys get that? Like the wrong name. Is Rebecca there? No, Rebecca's not at this number. I've had this number for 15 years. Why are you calling and or texting me? Look at that, Puppy Man. I already voted too. A radio friend of mine found out that Glendale is not in Denver County. He went to go turn in his ballot, and he's a Denver County resident, but he happened to be closer to Glendale for whatever reason, and Glendale has Arapahoe County voting boxes. So I learned something today, that Glendale, being about a mile, I think it's 1 square mile, is like this little section in Denver County that's surrounded, and it's like Arapahoe County, and it's like they incorporated themselves because they didn't want to be annexed by Denver County, so they were just like, nope, we're Glendale and we're Arapahoe County. So learn something new. Although if you turned in your ballot there, it would still count. It would just be longer for it to count. That is what we found out today. That was our lesson in voting. Glendale is a home run municipality, like Colorado Springs, which is the largest home run municipality, and that it's also not in Denver County, and all you have to do is cross a street and you're in Denver County, which is not all that unusual. Man, this number right here, 2451, is the highest number that we got so far tonight. Been doing it almost for 2 hours. The other night, I don't know if you guys caught this, I did Batman for 4 hours last night, and I was just putting that stream together. I was just like, it's Father's Day. Everybody's asking me what I want to do. I'd like to stream. Okay, sure. And my wife joins me. Charlie joins me too. And we're just kind of mediocrely playing. We got a nice little viewership going, everything like that. Just talking about stuff, talking about Pez. That's something I haven't done tonight, is I should probably talk about Pez. But then the game started blowing up, and it was like 6.5 billion, 24 billion, and then some raid came in from Faye, I think. No, and I bounced it out of that stupid. I think the king ever played pinball. So I forget which movie it is, but there's some movie that they had like a custom-made Elvis Pez dispenser for it, and it was shown on camera, and everybody asked me, they're like, "Oh, did you have the Elvis Pez dispenser?" Well, if it's from that movie, that one's actually a one of a kind. It was just made for the movie. It wasn't until much, much, much later that they started making the Elvis set, and this actually has a CD of some Elvis songs in it. It's limited edition. Get this, guys. There is only 1,400,000 of these in existence. So my number of 322,470 has got to be worth a ton with all of this dust on it and everything like that. And if you want to see something even more, just you wait, guys. Holy cow. I've got gonna pay for my kids' colleges with this. Actually, this one is open. I don't know why this one got open, but like the guys are in them. Let's see. I know I should get back to the game. Oh yeah, all three of them are in there, and then the CD is in here too. So, military Elvis, early Elvis, late Vegas Elvis. Well, thank you very much. So there you go. Hey, Puppy Man, you have a great night, and thanks for checking in. We'll look forward to Wednesday's stream. I don't know what you're doing. But if you haven't checked out Colorado Pinball, check it out. They stream Wednesdays and Friday nights on Twitch, pending natural disaster or any other plans that they've got. But they did a whole lighting of Iron Man on Friday, which actually I was like, We're going to watch these guys actually take out incandescent bulbs and put them in. But it was actually kind of fascinating because Ryan from Comet Pinball was in the chat as well, and it just lasted. And then the best thing ever, they like close it up, they turn it on, everything's working great. They had one little adjustment that they had to make on War Machine, and they're just like, wow, this is like a night and day game. They put the side by side on that, and I'm like, that doesn't even look like the same game. Like this whole area looks so much brighter and everything like that. But it made a world of difference. And then that you could just see like they had like this renewed energy. Because it was like, oh, we've been doing this for like 3 hours, and we should probably play this for a little bit, and then they like turned it on, lit it up, and they're just like, let's play a couple of games. So it was a good one. So if you get a chance, check out Colorado Pinball. The people who helped me get started streaming. Actually, since we're hitting the 2-hour mark here in a little bit, we're probably going to wrap it up, but I'm going to see if there's anybody. Dope Panic Flip is up streaming. Also, Laser is streaming, too. I might go that way. NorCal Pinball, finally back. That's interesting. They're playing Johnny Mnemonic, or at least it looks like they're working on Johnny Mnemonic. Just Another Pinball is doing Taxis. SP Blatt is doing Pinbot Monday. I don't know, you guys, if you guys got a suggestion on where you want to go. Usually on Mondays I go Don't Panic Flip. Like I say, he's doing Ghostbusters, although it looks like he's doing Ghostbusters because he didn't move the camera from yesterday. You can give him a hard time. Game over. Alright, let's do just a couple more. Like I say, it's getting to be the 2-hour mark, and I like to just stream for about 2 hours there. I got this drink. Luckily, it's still cold. It's Twisted Tea. I'm not a big beer drinker, guys, at all. And I don't do alcohol beverages very often. But when I do, it has to be a frou-frou drink. Don't you dare. Oh my gosh. It has to be a frou-frou drink or else I ain't touching it. It's like that White Claw that I'm so fond of. And Colorado Pinball Pub did have White Claws, but I had a Angry Orchard hard apple cider. I hadn't had one of those before. Those are pretty good, actually. Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. Oh no! I'll tell you, these type of games, they just kind of grind on you because it's like... And I mean... So my era of games was... like the games that I started with... Amazing Spider-Man, Bally's Star Trek. I know I played that one a bunch of times. I always say the story of that. I was at the drugstore, Skaggs Drugstore. When my mom would go to, like, Albertsons was right next door and Skaggs was next door. So she would go to Skaggs first and buy some, I don't know, some drugstore stuff. And then she would go to Albertsons to buy some grocery stuff. But while I was at Skaggs, it was, they had the pinball there and she would allow me to play it. Or they did have, like, a video game or two. And again, it wasn't right when Amazing Spider-Man came out. Or even Star Trek. It was, like, 83 or something like that. So they weren't new then. Bally Star Trek had been around for a while. It's just they would rotate those games in and out. And I would play them. That was fun. I like that. Too bad this wasn't lit. It would have been worth 10 points every time instead of measly 1. But my era of games were kind of like those type of games. Celebrity Sports Center in Denver had a ton of, like they had a whole basement was an arcade. And they had they were kind of like known to be the testing grounds for certain things. They're always the story of Dragon's Lair being shown off there first, although I think it was Showbiz Pizza first, but there are some things if they had like any big arcade event in Denver, it was at Celebrities. But they had like a wall of pinball games. Like they had Haunted House and Black Hole and some of those great Gottliebs from the 80s. I know I played like Elvira and the Party Monsters there. Bonsai Run I played there. But I was only paying I was paying a quarter, maybe 50 cents for pinball. It always seemed like pinball was maybe 50 cents, at least a quarter for sure. I think the story goes is that when Black Hole came out, they suggested that it'd be 50 cents. So that we're talking like late 70s and early 80s there, is that was the manufacturing suggested retail price or per play price. So, but I mean, there was you'd want to play pinball because there was a chance of winning a free game. But like this game here, as tough as this is, I've gone through like 4 games just now, but like you get 2 plays, or you get 2 nickels for play, according to the lid insert here. A dime would be 1 play, so that'd be 2 nickels, right? And then a quarter would do 3 plays, and you can actually set that in the game. You can do 3, you can do 5. It's the scoring motor that actually, or a jumper that tells the scoring motor, go ahead and click off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. You can actually have it 1 quarter, 1 play. But I mean, in the 60s, a dime would be worth so much more than what it was, and Lord knows if anybody had a quarter to play. Holy cow, you could play 3 games for a quarter. Nowadays, it's like all the Wonderland games are $1. And that's probably what they should be. Probably should be more. Oh, there's a star. Let's see if we can get this. There we already got the Y. It is lit. And it's out. Siren out. Alright, we'll do one more. We'll try to beat the high score of this guy over here, 2451. And we'll try to spill Magic City. I appreciate everybody watching. I like EM Mondays. They're kind of a unique deal. We'll do, unless I get another EM, which you never know. I always look. I always dream. There's been a Cleopatra that's for sale for $2,000, which is too much. There's no way I'm buying that. Oh, straight in the outlay. Come on. Oh, there we go. Actually worked out. But yeah, I mean, a dime would be a game, so then I mean, I don't know what money was back then. I just know that my mom always talks about getting penny candy. Like, they would go and they would get what would be like a Tootsie Pop or a Tootsie Roll, little snack-sized Tootsie Roll, for a penny. Darn it. Darn it all, heck. Oh, nuts. But we'll do Dealer's Choice next week. Pending getting another game, which I'm not looking to get another game. Like I say, Furlough was a little rough this time. Hopefully your job situation is good. I don't think I ran into anybody that I know. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people out there that lost their job. I guess they did eliminate a position at work. But, I mean, okay, one more, uno mas. One more. We'll try to spell Magic City. We'll try to roll a score. Rolling the score is not easy on this game. Like, getting up past 2,000 is really... I don't know if there's, like, a secret I don't know, but this whole business here... Hey, Norm, you wanna design another pop bumper in the middle game? Sure. I got another one in mind. What do you call it? Well, we're gonna call it Magic City. I don't know if that's what Norm sounded like, but everybody from that era sounds like that in my brain. We're gonna call it Magic City. Oh, really? What is it gonna be like? Well, it's gonna be like the Chicago skyline. We're gonna have the Paramount Theater there in the back glass, and we're gonna have a fountain that's gonna look like the Buckingham Fountain. Okay. I mean, we're in Chicago. That shouldn't be hard. And then out there in Seattle, they just opened the thing called the Space Needle. What is it? Well, it's this big tower, and we're just gonna have to put it right in the middle of the thing. We're gonna have a skyline like Manhattan. Okay. What else? Well, definitely pop bumper in the middle, because I'm Norm Clark. Dealer's Choice is also by Norm Clark, so he designed a lot of games for Williams back then, and this is actually a pretty good one, so I'm actually really happy that I have it. So I'm glad that folks popped in and out today. Oh. Like I said, I don't know what the secret is. Maybe loosening up the tilt, taking it all the way out, and throwing it out the door and just shoving the game left and right might be the way to go on this game. But once it gets down there, I mean, you could sometimes you could bounce it in such a way that it'll bounce back up. I've done it plenty of times tonight, but not right now. Ooh. Come on. Got awfully quiet just then. Ah. See, like that. Still alive. Not anymore. Sometimes it's just, you can get that shake out of it. And, come on, get back to the, there you go. I like it when the pop bumper will in the corner there. Hit it. AJ, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Hopefully everything's going well down south. I was actually thinking about wrapping things up for tonight. Here in just a little bit, but I'll play a couple more. Say hi to AJ. Ooh, here on EM Monday. I'm having a lot of fun streaming. And like streaming this game and going out the lane like that. That if the Monday Night League picks back up, I don't know what I'll do. We'll maybe change it to EM Wednesdays or something like that. Because how many people are streaming EM machines anyway, right? Am I right? I mean, this has got a nice ring to it. EM Monday. It's got a nice ring because of the chimes. And because of the bell, which... I just put in the large bell. When I bought the machine, It didn't have that bell. It had that bell, the 1-point bell, but not the larger, I guess what they call the 10-100 bell. It was missing from the game. And a nice crispy coil was in its place. That coil right there. A little crispy with the plunger for the bell ringing still stuck inside. So got the new coil from Marco's, got the bell from Pinball Resource. Came in actually really quick. I was surprised how fast that shipping actually shipped. And but I installed it, and sure enough, it didn't fit. Well, it's not that it didn't fit. There must be, like, there's a carriage bolt that goes through the back of the game into the bell, and then the bell must clamp down to the bell, right? So the back of the bell is against the wall of the machine. And I had to go to the hardware store, get a new carriage bolt, because the other carriage bolt was sheared off right at the entry point to the game. So I kind of took it out, measured it, decided, okay, I'm going to get 1.25 inches of carriage bolt. And I put it in there, put the bolt on it, and I put a grommet in the actual hole of the bell. The bell sat too far back from the striker, from the coil. Like, the coil was in front of the bell. And I was like, oh, that's not going to work. So then I actually bought a couple of grommets, and I put a couple more in there, but I had to buy a longer carriage bolt. And I think what I got to do is I got to buy like a rubber standoff or something for behind the bell so that it's in front of where the striker is. The striker hits it barely right now, so I'm just glad it rings, because when it would roll over any of those top rollovers or hit the blue pop bumper, or when the red pop bumpers are lit, they become 10 points rather than 1 point, it would be silent. You would just hear the clunk, 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 clunk. And then I replaced the pop bumper skirts on here as well. And so now all the pop bumpers got clean skirts, but when I put them back, I think the skirt stick hits the spoon a little bit different, and so I was trying to adjust the spoon, and the two red pop bumpers there fire in unison. And yeah, they machine gun every once in a while. So I see another hello. Give me 1 second. I will say hello back properly. Of course, I say that, and then I have really good games. Rosa Molino? Nice. Hello. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. This is the Pez Johnson's Pinball Mania. This is EM Monday. I've got 2 electrical mechanical games. Magic City I just picked up about 3 weeks ago. Just finally got a couple of things fixed on it, like the large bell and the pop bumper skirts I was just mentioning. And having a lot of fun with it, because now it rings. And it screws you by going out that way. And then the top score is this score here, 2451. That's the top score for tonight. I think I have it on Pindigo. That could be the highest score. Getting past 2,000 on this game is not easy, because all this stuff happens. So your goal, really, spell Magic City, and then if you spell Magic City, it lights both of these specials, and they stay lit. So if you could do it on ball 1, you can get a ton of free games just by going out the outlanes. If you get the star in the middle, which the only way you can do it is if this spotted light is on the star, and then you either hit this target in front of this blue pop bumper, or you roll over the top button up there, it spots you whatever letter that this spotlight is on, and then it moves the spotlight over. So there's there's like a skill shot in this game. It's kind of cool where you kind of want to get that rollover, even if you already have this letter, like we already have the G, but then it lights the red pop bumpers to make some 10 points apiece, and that is like 10 times the scoring. That's got to be the secret of this game, is the 10 times scoring. But oh, I'm not great at that. That's ball 5. Keep on playing. We'll do just a couple more. I mean, I was going to wrap it up here 15 minutes ago, but you know, I'm still having a blast, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. So if you haven't hit that follow button, hit the follow button. You can subscribe if you want to. Yeah, I'll have to subscribe. I like how the pop bumper will sometimes ricochet into, oh my gosh, ricochet into those 2 letters up there. As you hit the letters, they're supposed to turn off there and light here so that you know that you got them. This Y, for some reason, isn't turning off. I probably have a leaf switch that's too close. There's a lot of adjustments on EMs. There's, like, the reason why the pop bumpers are machine gunning a little bit. Look at that. Oh, and I messed it up. Like, they'll like hit and they'll keep on hitting. And that's because their switches are a little too close. Too close. Yeah, I like hearing the rain, that's for sure. Oh! Brutal game. This 100% should be in the next tournament. Because sometimes I like to call EM machines sometimes the great equalizer. Because they're brutal and... I don't want to say they were built to rip people off, but... Operators got to make their money, right? Oh, see, that pop bumper didn't actually register that hit. And that's because there's an adjustment that still needs to be done on that pop bumper skirt so that it hits the spoon correctly. I like that lower orbit that it does. Oh, getting a little extra love from the pop bumper there. Still going. Not anymore. All right, uno mas, guys, and then we'll call it a night. Send you somebody's way. We'll either go Don't Panic Flip or Laser Los. I appreciate you tuning in. Probably be back on Wednesday nights. I usually do it after Colorado Pinball on Wednesday nights. So that's about 10 o'clock Mountain. Give or take half an hour. Occasionally they'll get done a little sooner. Sometimes they'll go a little bit longer. It's really kind of how they feel. We're kind of doing this like almost like a handoff, like the Late Show, or the Late Night, or the Tonight Show, or something like that, where it kind of flows into another show after that. Help the pinball streamers go. I don't know. It just depends on what you want to watch. If you want to watch, I think Laser is doing Wizard of Oz. I think George was doing Ghostbusters. Ah, nuts. Date night, so I can't chat, but wanted to host and lurk. Well, thank you very much, Faye. Appreciate it. I hope you had a good date night. Doing a little EM Monday, as I like to do, or I've just kind of got used to doing. And EMs have a nice ring to them. I mean, EM Monday, bells are ringing. Faye, this I keep on saying this to everybody who kind of pops in, is that when I got this game, it didn't have the large bell in it. So, like, that's the 1-point bell. That's the 100-point bell. There was no bell scoring on the 100 points or the 10-point. And so now we got bells a ringing. And they're actually you know, the actual dome bells. They're not the chimes. Sometimes you can save it out of there. Alright, well, if we got a host going on by Faye, then we'll just keep on going again. Pez Johnson's Pinball Mania, EM Monday, doing Magic City. Got this game about 3 weeks ago. I was thinking about doing LEDs, you know, just to save on the power, save on the heat consumption. The retro lights from Comet Pinball, I guess, have kind of the same general illumination. The cool whites are about 2.5 times brighter. The soft lights or the warm lights are about 1.5 times brighter, and the sunshine lights are somewhere in between. If you do the retro bulbs, they're supposed to be about as lit as the incandescents, and I think that's probably what I want to go to. The other part about in the back box is that those are the 455 flashing or blinking bulbs, and they actually blink based on a relay inside of them, based on the temperature of them being on or off. And so there's 5 of them for Magic City. There is 4 of them in the fountain, and I actually bought a box of them online, and I think they look great. They also make it sound like it's raining. I'm here in the basement, and I'm kind of still new to this house. We moved in October. I needed a pinball basement. I needed an extra bedroom for my kids. So that's why we got this house. And I was working on World Cup, and I was just working on World Cup and doing some other stuff. And over in this corner where Magic City is, I'm just hearing this like little clink, 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 and I'm like, is it raining outside? No, it's not raining outside. It's nice sun shining and bright. And I'm like, oh no, is there like a leak in my house? No, not a leak. Luckily, it's just the blinking lights. They actually, the relay inside of them actually makes it sound like it's raining, or sound like it's just little blink, 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 blink. Come on. Oh, this has got a little bit more sensitive tilt. I kind of adjusted it. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. Oh, that was the other thing that I didn't have. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody really, like, use it too much. There we go. The ball that's in the tract, it's actually underneath this this left-hand side. It's the ball that's in the tract, and it's like if you lifted the game, it would roll into the track and actually hit a switch there. It's the, I don't know, it's the lifting tilt. It's not a slam tilt, but it's, I don't know, if you really shove the game, it would actually do it. But I think the tilt ball would actually trigger before this other thing. It didn't have the ball that's in there, and the ball is actually like a 5/16 ball bearing, so I ordered one of those things. Tried to get the game up and running. That's a twofer. Got the spotted one, got a roller. No flip there. Does the lower orbit. It's kind of a nifty no flip type of situation there. Come on, give me the amp. There you go. Whole idea is to spell Magic City. If you spell it, it lights the special. This came in an era of pinball where pinball was illegal in a lot of places because it was considered gambling. So there is an add-a-ball version of this called Magic Town, and instead of getting free games, you actually just get extra balls. I don't know if there's an adjustment. Games later on, after That's what they did in this era, is that they would sometimes release 2 games, maybe even 3 different versions of the games. One would be an add-a-ball version that would be able to sell in places like Chicago, New York, LA, where it was illegal. And then the places where it was legal, sometimes you would either sell a 1-player game or 4-player game or 2-player game. It's like modern games, modern Stern games. They'll sell an LE version or a premium version or whatever, and it costs more to buy those games. So if you put them on location, it would cost you. It costs you more out of the box, but then you'd have to have people play a lot more to make your money back. Well, that's what they offered back then, is a 1-player version of a game. This only has the 1-player version. But some of the other games, the Dealer's Choice that I have, is a 4-player game. There's actually a single-player game called Lucky Ace. And again, it was cheaper because you didn't put all the reels in it. Didn't cost as much. Some people will prefer those in the EM world because they're a little easier to maintain, because there's not as many reels on them. I mean, it makes sense, right? But these guys who made these games, I still consider them geniuses. I mean, there's plenty of software engineers who are making the games today, and a lot of graphic artists that are making the animations in games today for the LCD games. Even the DMD games were heavily animated. And those guys are just as smart, but these guys who developed the electrical engineerings, that they are cute little baby flippers too. And of course, when I don't look at the baby flippers and I look at your chat, Infernal Squid, it goes out. Actually, there's plenty of ways for this to go out. I mean, if you hold it up, it easily can go out this way and not score anything. It can go this way and score 100. Of course, the outlanes score 100. Special windlets. Hope you're doing well, Infernal Squid. Doing a little EM Monday action for you. Alright, so we got all of the city. You belong to the sea. I should not sing the song. Let's try to make it the Michael McDonald version of that song. We have a guy at work, Austin, who does a wonderful Michael McDonald. When we were at the office, we'd be like, I wonder what Michael McDonald would say that. And he'd be like, I think it's righteous, baby. There's an old SCTV. SCTV was Second City TV, and it was kind of produced in Canada, and it's kind of supposed to be from Second City in Chicago. I remember it for it being on Showtime, and then later on they had it in on like syndicated television. Now you can find clips of it on YouTube. But like Eugene Levy was part of that cast, and Joe Flaherty, Rick Moranis, and Dave Thomas. That's where Bob and Doug McKenzie come from. John Candy apparently was also part of that for a while. But there's this great scene of Christopher Cross. Like, it starts off with Rick Moranis doing a DJ and stuff like that. Here's another #1 song. It's by Christopher Cross. It's Ride Like the Wind. And it kind of goes into the video a little bit, and then it goes into Rick Moranis dressed up as another guy, like Michael McDonald, I guess. And he's like driving in this car. Christopher Cross is singing the song. You know, gonna ride like the wind. You know, whatever. And then you see it. Michael McDonald, or Rick Moranis is Michael McDonald, pulls up to a building, jumps out of his car, runs into the building, just as the song gets to Michael McDonald's part. And so they get to Christopher Cross, and he's like, I got such a long way to go. And he rushes into the studio, puts on the headphones, and he's like, such a long way to go. And then he does it like 4 times in the video. And so he's just like, he looks at the engineers, they're just like, yeah, got it, everything like that. He puts the headphones down, he starts walking out of the studio, and they're like, no, get back on there. And it gets to that, another part of that song. And I got such a long way to go, such a long way to go. I know, you thought you were going to get accordion tonight, and you got Mike McDonald. It was a treat. Alright. Now my eyes are getting tired. I still gotta get the Y. There we go. Okay, got the Y. I've said this, like, at least for half an hour. One more game. Last game for you guys, okay? Take your bets now. Will I be able to reach the score 24-51? Will it be a bust? Will I spill Magic City? All those prop bets are up for grabs. Place the bets now. No more bets. Oh. I hope you took the under. I'm having such a hard time dialing that shot back in. Before I actually made the adjustments, I didn't make any adjustments to the shooter or anything. But for some reason, well, I may have done that rebound rubber. So maybe it's not bouncing as much. I didn't put a new one on it, but I'm wondering. I did a little tweaking on that. Like, I tightened up that screw just a little bit. Maybe I turned it a little. And yes, those things are machine gunning a little. Ooh, look at the double orbit there. I didn't even need to flip. Like I said, I hope you took the under, guys. Oh my gosh, he hits it. Oh, and that was worth the star, so now that blue pop bumper is lit. Okay. Boy, I hope you took the over, guys. Come on, come on. Ah. I'm glad my wife's not watching right now. Well, maybe she's watching. She went to bed early tonight because she was itching. Because she's allergic to stuff. And occasionally she gets itchy. We got some bits from Mr. Kennedy. Nice. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Look, we got all the city. All the city on that one. You belong to the city. There we go. So that's what I gotta complain about. I just gotta complain I'm not hitting that shot, so why am I even playing? And then you start getting stuff. Or you get the lucky, lucky bit from Mr. Kennedy. Thank you for digging EM Night. I'm digging it too. Before, so I guess I streamed this 2 Mondays ago, and I didn't have the big bell on it. Aw, boo. I didn't have the big bell, and so I ordered the big bell from Pinball Resource and got it in real quick. And also had to buy the coil from Marcos, and got that one in real quick too. And not. All right, let's see if we can get this 2 for here, guys. Man. All right, for one more bit, we play one more game. You gave the bit. Like I say, for the last half hour, I've been saying, okay, just one more game. What actual time is it? It's 11 o'clock Mountain Time. Okay. I just know that I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours. Yes, those pop bumpers machine gunning a little. Need a little switch adjustment. Not going to worry about that just yet. Look at those orbits. Those orbits are amazing. Alright, so there's this skill shot that's involved with this game, and it's that upper button that's right there, and it says score 50 points and advance the button and spot. Blah, 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 blah. You got that? So this spotting light goes over the letters, and whatever it's on, if you hit that rollover target on top, the button, or you hit this target right in front of the pop bumper, 50 points, spots the letter, then moves it over. And then if you hit this pop bumper, it then moves it over too, excuse me. So, really the skill shot is to get that rollover on the plunge. It also lights all 3 of the red pop bumpers. Okay? And the target and the rollover are the only way you can actually get the star. You have to have the spotlight on the star in order to get it. But that lights the blue pop bumper. Normally it's 10 points. It would light it for 100 points. Okay? So we gotta get the... And I have not... having trouble with that one. Don't screw me. There we go. We got all the city. All the city is in. All the city is here. We like it. We like it. Fortunately, the light moved over to the sea and city, or the city sea as I like to call it, because there's also the magic sea, which is that one. There's also, oh my gosh, there's also the magic eye or the city eye. All right, we're still on the city sea. Skill shot. But it's really important because, I mean, the bumpers, the red bumpers, are only worth a point if they're not lit. And so you're increasing your point value by 10. And, oops, I accidentally hit that button for one more game. And if it rolls over one, spots a letter, and then you get another letter, I call that the twofer. That's almost like the threefer right there. Oh, that insert. Got a little cupped insert right there. Alright, let's go. No, don't do the G. You already got the G. Get that I. Well, extra bonus points from the machine gunning. We're not going to complain. We're going to complain about that, though. 555. Okay. Now, important to always note if you're playing this game in a tournament setting, like I don't know when that would ever be, but I got smudges on the glass now. The spotlight is on the star, so you definitely want to try to, at all costs, roll over the bumper. It will light all the red bumpers and the blue bumper, and also light these special lanes down here. I am not going to hit it. Oh, it almost did there. I at least want to get a letter. Now, if it happens to come down without hitting this middle pop bumper, and I can hit the target, oops, it hit the pop bumper. So that's what you want to do. You want to try to get it when it's on the thing. See, right now it's on the T. Man. A lot of no flips in this game, by the way. These baby flippers are tiny. Oh. Ah. Trying to anticipate the bounce. You know, if it wants to hit the target on its own, I'm okay with that. I can't be the only person who talks to the games, right? Alright, here we go. Ball 5. We need to get 1,300 points. It's doable, right? Oh, get the A. Darn it. I got 1,358 points. That's kind of the same thing. But I think I'll wrap it up. So I appreciate you guys being here and checking things out for the night. We'll raid somebody. Should we do... Let's take a look, because I bet George is doing it. We should probably go in that direction. We could go to Laser. Yeah, or me. So... let's go Don't Panic Flip tonight. Yeah, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for the bit, Mr. Kennedy. I appreciate it. And everybody else who also checked out the stream today, I kind of posted it on the EM page of Facebook to see if some of those people wanted to come in. And you guys didn't tell me, but the back glass is actually frozen. The camera has been giving me trouble all night long. I know you didn't think I was going to get more singing, but yeah, it should be looking like that rather than that. I think a loose connection, so work on that next time. But anyway, so yeah, let's set up the raid and we'll go over to George and we can tell him hi, and we'll do that. And I want you guys to have a good one, and we'll probably be back on Wednesday.